What's up guys, Peter here from Reviews on Anything, and today we're doing a comparison video. We're doing so because in an earlier video we looked at this. This is a Trakline belt from a company called Kore Essentials, and it's characterized by the clicking. It's a belt that clicks into place rather than using a traditional buckle with a hole. It works a bit like a zip tie, and it guarantees you a perfect fit every time, and a lot of flexibility in terms of how you use the belt as well. We really liked it if you've seen the other video, but it got me thinking they can't be the only player in the belt space that makes this kind of system. And sure enough, after a bit of research, we found two more companies that make a similar kind of product. So in this video we're going to put them side by side and see what the differences, positive and negative, are between the three. Now we've got obviously another belt from Kore Essentials here to do the testing, because we're going to look at the packaging as well. We got a very stylish box from Slidebelts. And we got a very cardboard box from a company called incremental. So three similar products with similar offerings, but with a very different story and a very different approach. And also when we're going to look at the products in a bit more detail, you're going to see that there's actually quite a lot more to it than you might think about at first glance. So let's put them side by side, see what the differences are, and see if we can come up with a winner. Alright, so let's kick it off with how you are presented with the product. This is how they look like once you take away all the shipping packaging. We got the mission belt here, simple cardboard fold open box with the belt just in there rolled up and the buckle already attached actually, which is nice, so you can just take it out and start using it right away. The Kore Essentials Trakline belt, slightly more sophisticated, also a simple cardboard box with the two buckles that I ordered in this case, not attached to the belt. But the belt itself comes in this sort of carry pouch, nice and soft material, with the belt rolled up inside, which you can obviously use to store your belts, take them with you when you're traveling, or you can put anything else in there obviously. But very nice here, the Slidebelt definitely is the winner in terms of presentation. The box looks a lot more premium. There's like a velvet sort of inlay here with the belt rolled up inside, and you're presented with the buckle of your choice right away, which I think is quite nice. It looks nice and stylish. All these belts, by the way, come with an instruction manual on how to use them properly and how to sort of set them to the right size. So once they are out of the box, you can see that these belts all look remarkably similar. Same thing goes for the buckles, which is obviously not an accident. I tried to order sort of the closest match that I could find in order to make it a fair comparison. Because it's not really fair to, you know, compare a nice, very nice looking, for example, brown belt with a nice buckle with a very dull grey one with a very boring buckle. So this way it is sort of an even playing field. Now here on the table they obviously look very similar, but there is obviously quite a lot of choice available for you when you go through your purchase process. All the belts come in different colors and different finishes. When it comes to the buckles though, the Mission belt only has one style buckle. This is the only buckle style that they have. But it comes in a number of different finishes and colors. And they even have an officially licensed professional sports series line. So if you want to, you know, show support for your team and that's something you're into, then you can do so. The same thing goes for the Slidebelt, sorry. They have only one style buckle, this is it, but it comes in a number of different colors and finishes. If it's choice you want in terms of the buckle, then you're best off with the Kore Essentials belt. They have 14 different styles of buckles. This is one of them, and you saw another one in the box already, like this. And obviously, if you combine that with the number of different belts that they offer, you have the most choice and variety when it comes to picking the look that you want. Now, after you chose your desired style, it is obviously important to also consider their materials. And while these look the same and you think, oh, it's leather, that is certainly not the case. And that is actually something that becomes really apparent the moment you open these three boxes in a row. They smell really different. That's because the Slidebelt is actually fake leather, and you can smell it. This is not the real deal. They do sell full grain leather, but that has a different price point than the other two. So for comparison fairness, I stuck to the same price point. The Mission belt is leather. You ask yourself, is this real leather? And it says so on the inside even. Hope you can see that on camera. It says, yeah, it's leather. That always gets my attention a little bit, because that's not really answering the question if this is a full grain leather belt. And the real answer is that it isn't. This is actually something called bonded leather, which means it's two leather pieces glued together and plastic coated. So it's not the real deal. That is the case here with Trakline. This is full grain, top grain leather. So you get the full banana here, the full experience. And actually the fun is, if you look inside this belt, hope you can see it, it actually says full grain leather. So that's, you know, something where you can tell the difference right away. It actually says what it is here, and it doesn't really say it in the mission belt. So points to the Trakline belt here in terms of materials used. In terms of pricing, now you can get the mission belt for 35 bucks in this spec, which is not too bad, but you can go all the way up to 50 bucks if you want to get the licensed sportswear buckle with a slightly different belt. So that is a decent price range. The Trakline belt in this spec is about 50 bucks, but you can spend a little bit more, up to 60, depending on the type of belt and the buckle style as well. The Slidebelt in this spec with the fake leather will set you back about 45 bucks, but you can go as high as 85 if you want to go for the full grain real leather full banana spec. So that gives you a bit of an idea what you can spend on belts like this. Obviously for that you get one belt and one buckle, but the good part is that all these buckles are interchangeable. So if you want you know, one belt and a few different styles, that's pretty easy to do. You just buy a few more loose buckles and you can stick with one belt. Last thing to note in terms of your purchase is that the Trakline and the Slidebelt both come with a 1-year warranty, and I really couldn't find anything about warranty in terms of the mission belt, so that is maybe a slight point of concern here. Now, despite being from 3 different brands, all these belts function exactly the same way. Hope you can see it on camera, but they all have this track on the inside that allows you to fine-tune the sizing of your belt. All 3 of them work exactly the same way. You have the buckle that goes over, that has a sort of a hook mechanism on the inside, and you can hear it click in place, and then your belt is at your desired tightness. They all have a mechanism where you can obviously undo that and take the belt off again, and you're good to go. Now, even though they are all using the same principle in terms of getting your desired fit, the Trakline belt actually has the longest track with 10 inches and 42 adjustment positions, where both the Slidebelt and the mission belt have a 7.5 inch track with only 32 positions. The buckles actually are slightly different in terms of the internal mechanics as well. The Trakline belt here has a spring-loaded buckle mechanism. As you can see, it moves the little pin on the inside. Feels very solid, very nice to use. The Slidebelt here, you actually lift up the entire outside of the buckle, which is a very natural sort of movement, and it moves similar as the Trakline belt. It moves the pin on the inside. Also feels very solid, very nice. What doesn't feel very nice is the system that the mission belt uses, which is a magnetic system, and you can maybe already hear it just doesn't sound as solid as the other 2. It's a magnetic system that pulls the pin back into place, and it feels a bit more unreliable and less nice to use, nice to the touch. So the time will have to tell how long and how well this is going to keep up over time with repeated use. So at the end of this comparison, let's see if we can find some kind of conclusion. 3 belts that offer pretty much exactly the same in terms of functionality. They have the same system basically that allows you to customize the fit of your belt. They also, all 3, allow for different style buckles, although slightly different ways, and different color options. So they all offer a very similar proposition in terms of what they do. I think they go about it in very different ways though. Starting with the mission belt, the cheapest of the bunch, I don't really like this for a few reasons. First of all, it feels cheap, which is not nice, and definitely not something you want from a premium product, I think. The buckle makes a not so nice noise. You can feel it when you're operating the mechanism. It's just not nice. The fact that they don't really say that it's not full grain leather, but sort of try to get away with it, is something I don't like either. What I do like though is that for every belt purchase, or for every purchase actually, they invest $1 into a third world country project, which is something really nice, and actually something I think a lot of other brands should do as well, not only in the belt space but overall. So if that is something that is, you know, close to your heart, then the mission belt is definitely the way to go. Personally for me, I'd rather spend a little bit more money and get a bit more variety in terms of what you can do with the buckle, and a bit more quality in terms of what you get with the belt itself. It's a decent belt though, you know, if you don't really mind the quality issues. I think this is a decent proposition, but in this threesome, I think this is definitely the weakest one. Then we come to the Slidebelt, the middle in terms of price in this threesome. but for that you get the fake leather. If you want to go full leather like the track belt for example, you have to go over 80 bucks, which is quite a lot more money. The fake leather though is something that really stands out. The moment you open the box you smell it. It does smell fake, especially opening the two other boxes next to it as well. If that's something you can get over to, I think you get a very stylish belt with a very clean looking buckle. The downside is that there's only one buckle, even though it comes in different finishes, but it is only one buckle design. It's nice and clean though, so I would not be against it, so to speak. But you know, if it's choice you want in terms of the buckles, then you know, that's what you are stuck with. They do offer a lot of choice in terms of who these belts are for. Men, women, children, they have something for everybody. So there's a lot of variety possible here, even though you only get one belt design. Which brings us neatly to the Trakline belt from Kore Essentials. The most expensive in this threesome, but their price range overall is much smaller. You can go up to 60 bucks for a Trakline belt, but that's about it. And they offer the most choice in terms of what you can do with the buckle. They have 14 buckles in different kind of finishes, and that's a really different design buckle. So not just a different print on the front. So if it's variety you want and really personalize the style of the belt, I think you're best off with the Trakline belts. That said, they don't make belts for women or for children, so it is pretty much a men-only product so far. Who knows what they're going to do in the future. But overall, I really think that this belt is the winner in this test. The way you get full grain leather, full stop, you know, not any kind of fake leather or other options or whatever, full grain leather it is. The way the buckles feel, the solidity of the sounds and the way the material feels, I think is something that is maybe hard to convey on camera, but it's something that really makes or breaks a product for me. And this is a product that feels nice from the moment you open the box. The smell, the touch when you touch the leather, the way the buckle feels, the way you interact with the product, is just so much nicer than the other two. No cheap clicks, no cheap feelings, no corners cut here whatsoever. You know, 50 to 60 bucks for a belt, it's not cheap, you know, it's a lot of money. You can do a lot of other things for that. But I think you get a very high quality product that will definitely last you for many, many years to come. So in the end, 3 belts that do pretty much exactly the same but go about it in very different ways. And I think in this test the clear winner is the Trakline belt from Kore Essentials. Not only does it offer more choice and more variety, I think overall the product is actually the better product as well. From the moment you open the box, the moment you smell the leather and feel the mechanism, you're going to know that this is a quality product and you're going to enjoy it for many, many years to come. This was a fun video. Hope you guys enjoyed this comparison. It's always fun to have 3 similar products side by side to discover the differences. We really enjoyed making it. Hope you guys like it. Definitely give it a thumbs up and subscribe to the channel. And I hope to catch you guys in the next comparison video. Cheers!